This is a summative for self-competence. Self-competence is when an individual has established his or her personal identity. This means that an individual knows who they are and what their purpose or calling is. Self-competence is an individual's subjective view of themselves, which is otherwise known as the self-concept. As humans, we have several needs. One of those important needs is our need for intimacy. The way we feel about ourselves can drive our need for intimacy. The skill associated with intimacy is self-disclosure. This is an important skill that allows intimacy to be built. Self-disclosure is any information that you reveal about yourself to others that they would have not known otherwise. This is a skill because self-disclosures can be very risky and it is difficult to know when to make a safe or risky disclosure. Showing vulnerability to disclosures is what will build trust in relationships, and it is the trust in relationships that allows more self-disclosure to occur. Once again, I assess my self-disclosures in two ways. The first way is I use an online assessment. I responded to a 30-item questionnaire where I responded to questions that most reflect my communication. The questions were on a scale ranging from 1, strongly disagree, to 7, strongly agree. The questions assessed positive and negative disclosures, depth and the intimacy of disclosures, the honesty and accuracy of disclosures, the amount of disclosures, and whether the disclosures were intentional or unintentional. My results indicated that I have moderate control over my disclosures, meaning I don't have full control over them. They also indicated that I disclosed more positive versus negative things about myself and that my disclosures are not very exclusive, meaning they are not very private. I would say that I've been trying to improve these to an extent. Of course, I will not disclose many private things about myself to those I don't trust very much, but to some, I have been trying to disclose more and try and build a trust in a relationship and thus making me more self-competent. The second method of assessment that I chose was comparisons. Here I chose to compare my own self-disclosures to those in my close social group. I chose this method because after comparing, I'll be able to see what idea of disclosures I use and if I disclose too much or not enough. After my comparisons, I found that I sometimes disclose at the wrong times, which shows some lack of control. I also found that I would disclose more private things to certain people and more general things to other people. I don't really find that this was much of an issue, as of course I will disclose more to some people. However, what I do need to improve on is matching my disclosures to those of the other persons so that our relationship has some kind of a balance. I've been doing this and I found that this has been slowly growing more trust and intimacy in my relationships, even if they're just regular friendships.